Hello, Scorpio. I do recall that the last time I went to get your messages out, the phone was super hot, and I was just literally looking at it, and you are up next. So, yeah, things may be heating up for you, literally. Um, Something may be on a time constraint. Anyways, what we're doing today is a zodiac specific reading for all the signs. I've done this once before where I've taken blank note cards, written the sign for each of the zodiac signs on each one of them, and then blindly, randomly pulled, meditated on those energies, and wrote down some impressions, insights, and channeled messages for you. So let's go ahead and get started with your channeled messages, and then we've got a few oracle messages here that were also blindly set on each of the piles, and then we're going to get some Akashic Tarot to round out the message before we close. So a lot of times early on in the energies, I will feel colors, if that makes sense to you. And yours were more of greenish and yellow, which talked to me about solar plexus and heart space and the heart's will and the ability to be open hearted and creative in the use of our energy in the world. So, gathering of momentum and courage, perhaps for an emotional matter. Let's see what else. You may be contemplating some big moves in heart matters or emotional realms. There are new approaches or invitations, meeting new people, attending events, having social time or outings. Somebody, either you or another, but I wrote this as looking everywhere for, quote, you. So somebody may be looking for someone that has your skill set, somebody to be friend that has similar ideas or like-minded to have fun with. They may be looking for a partner. Whatever it is that you are seeking is also valiantly seeking you. So you may be crossing paths with some new people, as we've said, meeting new people, and one in particular or several may stand out. So then we have this message of follow the wisps, and that may be synchronicities that are stepping forward for you, things that have personal meaning. Could be some birds, it could be number synchronicities, it could be like five of the people that you've talked to have all said, oh, you'd be really good at fill in the blank. And then you're like, is this a message from spirit? Yes. So follow those little wisps and inclinations or just intuitions like, oh, I feel like I want to go to the store, but I don't really need anything. If it's a nudge or a suggestion, not something that you just do to fill time, well, even if it is, if you're feeling that nudge, there may be someone, something there for you to supplement or assist you in the next part of this journey. There may be fated meetings for you, someone that has some type of soul resonance. You may have a memory of them, or they remind you of somebody. They have a familiar face, a familiar voice, or just they really strike a chord deep within you. And I don't know if you believe in it, but this may be something that has to do with the feeling of love at first sight. And this doesn't have to be a person, this can even be a pet or something, um, something that you love. It could even be a flower, something. Tuning into those wisps, you may be approached or aware of something, or maybe you take in a new activity and you're like, wow, this is the most fun I've had so far in my life, and now I'm a pickleball fanatic. I don't know. Anxiety, overthinking may be coming forward. There's your higher self and the higher selves of others, as well as divine interference or divine assistance, is supporting and orchestrating something behind the scenes for you. And as far as finance, I tried to channel messages about love and money here for a little bit more specific insights. I'm sensing that you may have or are working towards having several streams of income, and this might lead to you having multiple balls in the air, that you're juggling a lot of things at once, wearing a lot of hats, they say. So you may be really business minded and very busy in business. Um, but there's a need perhaps for you to oversee something so that the oversights don't happen. So that word can be either way, like something has been overlooked or that you are checking some work. I'm sensing that you may be interested in or investing in some more social media presence. You may be marketing yourself or a product, investing time in your creative work with your hands specifically, or building something or making plans to build something or to do something creative may really help you. And then I'm seeing that if you have big plans stepping forward, a lot of creative work to do, delegation may be really needed at this time. So also we have apprenticeship, committees, teams, like-minded tribe, and you specifically bring a lot to that mix. Wherever you go, you're in high demand. So know your value and don't underestimate yourself. Don't overestimate an offering. Make sure to negotiate and be very clever in getting what you deserve. So, your oracle cards, Humpback Whale is the first one, and I keep clearing my throat here. Humpback Whale says singer. A lot of this is again with that voice, clearing your voice, clearing your throat, speaking your truth, getting ready to express something that is necessary, needed, or perhaps even uncomfortable for you, something you're not as skilled or practiced at is starting to come online. And this talks a lot about soul resonance, soul song, and how a voice, a memory, a face, or a laugh, or something very familiar can help us to tune into the Akashic records of our own life or the collective that are important little tidbits and little signifiers, indicators of where we need to go, what we need to do to bring our magic forward within our being and out into the world. Sing healing songs for the world. Your inner navigation always guides you. Nothing can stop you or keep you from your goal. Align with your purpose and the power in your soul. So I'm also being reminded that bonding within groups, quite often, one of the age old ways to create unity in the spirit of connectivity within a group is to share um, food, drink, or to sing in unison. Because when we invoke, when we synchronize voices, or when we share in nourishment, these are things that hit the soul differently. I'll leave that one there. 34, the gift of neutrality. And this little interesting guy is some type of a shrimp or something. In the moment, it's looking a little phallic. I'm not going to lie about that. So balance is at work in your life. Yin and yang are opposites in energy, but reside side by side to create the gift of neutrality. And you know, the yellow green that solar plexus heart. Sorry if you hear that. My stomach is starting to growl. There may be a hunger, right, to share with others stepping forward here. And opposites can definitely attract, they can complement each other, they can create a lot of creativity and inspiration to brainstorm or shooting ideas out to the group, helping us to be inspired by other opinions and perspectives can really draw us out and harmonize us with the flow of life and of the world. So, this is also about you gathering and integrating both feminine, masculine aspects of yourself and helping you to step forward in a more powerful, holistic way. There's a deeper reason for each of your quote questions. Seek it. So if there's a common denominator in a common theme in some type of interaction, or your fears, or your gifts, because we have the gift of neutrality and this singer, maybe you are balancing out, harmonizing the chords of some group by what you add here. You have a gift for song, a sing-song voice, the ability to make things, to take things to a different octave. Guidance, attention, help, maybe. Love, always. Criticism, never. The question was what to give others, if anything at all. Isn't it fun being you? The universe. So this to me is like, I know an individual that while a group of us were singing, in the middle of the song, when we're unified, says to the group, "You can lower that an octave." Oh, all right. And so it happened. The next week, all of the women sang at the man's octave, and it sounded kind of like a croaking groan. So that went well. So, really, I mean, is it necessary? Is it kind? Is it well timed? I don't know. That's just one example. But there's always a time and a place and a tone for corrective energies, but we can really help others so much more when we say something that is geared to what they do well, instead of calling out what they haven't done as well, because everybody's doing their best in broad terms, right? Love in spite of it all, even if somebody has been very deconstructively critical of your gifts and been neutral in the receiving of what you have to offer. Don't get it misconstrued. You again bring a lot to the mix wherever you go. Know your value. Before this odyssey ever began, there was you, your best friends, and wide-eyed curiosity among you about who would be the first to leap, the first to forget, the first to kiss, the first to tell, the first to fall, the first to get back up, and the first to remember that it all began with a dare to love in spite of it all. Is that you, Murgatroyd? The universe. P.S. I remember the glint in your eyes. All three of them. There is a soul recognition here for you. I can't wait to see what comes out of the Akashic Tarot. Let us see. There is definitely a soul tribe recommuning. It may be a situation where you're either breaking bread, sharing song. I'm seeing like one of those pub, is it an Irish pub depiction where everybody's kind of getting tipsy and loving on each other and swaying around with their arms around each other. Not that I suggest that, but hey, different strokes. But within these type of celebratory atmospheres, there's a need for positivity and encouraging speaking, laughter, songs, maybe the songs of your people. Let's see what comes out for you. The card's being a little quiet for you, Scorpio. Akashic Tarot for Scorpio. There we go. So we have a knock at the door, the light of the world. So opportunity may be coming to knock. It may be time for you to get out and meet other individuals, or somebody may be calling on you to come out and join them. But the light of the world, this may be something that is geared towards enlightenment or spiritual practice or connection, connectivity. It may be like even in like a church choir, for instance, although I sense that many individuals watching these broadcasts that I have here are not going to be necessarily the typical church goers. There are many different ways that we can be the light in the world. And one of those ways is to be really careful with our criticisms and very indulgent with our encouragement. Because generally speaking, we all know when we're not good at something. And, if somebody's jumping up and doing some karaoke or something in front of you at the bar or whatever else it might be, whatever. If somebody's bringing forward their gifts or their personal self-expression, the last thing and the lowest vibrational um, offering that can be made is to discourage or to tell that person that they're not good at that thing because maybe they were just singing something in the wrong key. Maybe they were just a little tipsy and they didn't know that they were flat as a bad tire on a bike. uh, let's be careful with our words, right? And I think that Scorpio, I think that you can be typecast as one who's also retaliatory, can be sometimes dealing with some resentments and bitterness. It's the sign of possessiveness and jealousy. Um, there's definitely an urge to work all of those kinks out of your energy signature. And part of that practice is by saying, well, at least they got up and they did something. How can I look at myself and be less judgmental of myself when I'm out there and less of a perfectionist, less concentrating on the outcomes and more celebrating the personal expression in all of its nuances and chaos, and giving thanks and praise for that. That's the light that's stepping forward for you. Two worlds, two of scrolls. I didn't expect this one, but I'm seeing in this moment this spinning wheel. Two things: the spinning the wool into thread, yarn, and then being able to use that to create clothing, rugs, blankets, needful things. It all starts by nourishing and nurturing the sheep that then goes into the shearing of the sheep. So sheep, again with that church reference, perhaps oh, and I know this is going to sound a bit patronizing, and I don't mean it that way, but many individuals will refer to the basic populace as just sheep, being flocking to groupthink, not having a mind of their own type of thing. You know the drill. And two worlds, it can talk about the difference of being seen as a conscious, enlightened individual versus those that are lower. So I don't know if you're getting up and being like a stand-up comedian or a karaoke singer, and then you get some type of heckler energy here. Allow yourself to say, different strokes for different folks for them. And be unbothered to the extent that you can, and try to not lower yourself to join that misery and be their company, but allow yourself, like there's this thing stepping forward where somebody gave me this backwards compliment insult about, oh yeah, they weren't fat, but you know, they were built like you. All right, you know, I'm not saying I'm a bikini model. However, you know, don't push or paint your insecurities upon me. And if you're out there doing your own thing, you know, in that instance, it's more like, what, all of this goodness? You wish that you felt and looked this good, right? And I'm not trying to say that that's the. Anyways, it doesn't matter. This is about you. Hilarion underneath the deck. So, yeah, there's this. Every time I see that Hilarion, I think about the word hilarious. So I don't know if you are maybe a stand-up comedian or somebody who's standing up and giving a presentation. I'm also seeing the beaker. Maybe you're a new teacher of some type, or just giving some type of a presentation in front of a class, and you come with all of the backing of your research, your investigation, your diversity, your worldliness, and with the gentle nudges from your ancestors and spirit teams saying, don't let the jerks get you down, and keep on going. You are being celebrated for extending yourself and for going and being this light out into the world, and to be somewhat fearless and undaunted in your self-discovery process here, because it's not about how you do, it's about getting up and doing it, you know. And so this may be something to do with a scientific process, some type of um, uh, technology, research, any type of learning or teaching, of course, as we've said. But you're bringing something out into this world. So the two worlds here in light of the world is an interesting dichotomy, that yin yang. So the light and the dark, yes, the fire and the water. There's something very important being worked out for you.